Nick Wright joins us on loan from First Things First, the popular co-host on Fox Sports 1. Nick, what do you think of Steph Curry this season?
All these Steph Curry questions. In all seriousness, it's been sensational. I mean, he's been sensational. Let me ask you a question, Dan.
Yep.
Going into this year, if someone were to ask you, all-time great, all-time pyramid, who's ahead, Steph or KD? Who do you have higher?
I would take Steph.
Oh, so you would have already had Steph higher, because I think most people, even though Steph has one more ring and one more league MVP, I think particularly after the playoffs last year, would have said KD's a tick above. If the Warriors win the title this year, though, you have to, the Steph KD debate, at least for the time being, stops being a debate. Steph would have double the MVPs and double the rings, all of that. And you start to reevaluate, where is Steph historically? I mean, I think he's right now knocking on the door of the top 15 all time. If they win the title this year, he probably also would win the league MVP this year if they win 60-plus games. He starts kicking that door in and moving past guys like Akeem, past guys like Dr. J, obviously past Durant. I think it's a really special thing, because I thought the Warriors were done winning titles. And now the door's back open for them.
I asked Dwayne Wade about that yesterday, and he said he would take Steph because he changed the game. And, I mean, think about the most influential people who've ever played this game. And Steph's on the short list of most influential players in the history of the game.
There's no doubt about that. As far as influence, he is, I want to say, top 5 all time. But that does, he's far more influential than Tim Duncan. But Tim Duncan had the better career. But if they win the title this year, Steph starts really approaching the hollowed ground.
But who gets into the top 10, though, Nick? If I said at the end of their careers, KD or Steph, more likely to go into the top 10?
So I would have, honestly, and I don't want to be too reactionary, a month ago I would have said KD, because I thought Steph had an MVP level season last year, Dan, and the Warriors missed the playoffs. So I'm like, okay, so Steph's not going to play in a finals again. But if they make the finals this year, if they win the title, then to me it'd be Steph. If this is more about schedule, and maybe when Clay comes back, he's not the guy we think he's going to be, and the Warriors are a second round exit, KD, because he's bigger. I think I don't know if you can say he scores more effortlessly, but it does feel like he can do a little more. But again, those are, I mean, you're a basketball historian like me. So to me, there's 4 guys that are almost like, the older generation: Russell, Wilt, Oscar, and West. They've got to be included, but they almost have to be included separately, like a veterans committee. And then people can argue about the order, but I don't think many people would argue about this next 9: LeBron, Kareem, Michael, Magic, Duncan, Kobe, Bird, Akeem, Shaq. So now we're at 9 plus the 4. There's 13. I would have had Dr. J and Moses rounding out my top 15, with Steph and KD ready to knock one of them out. But how high can either one of them climb? Can they pass Bird? Can they, I think they both can pass Dr. J and Moses. But so there's, at some point is there a ceiling? I don't know. This is what people do when the top 75 list comes out. They're like, this guy's a top 20 guy all time. It's like, no, he's not. You got to list the names. And so but I'm starting to reconsider how high Steph can climb.
I liked Golden State last year to go to the NBA Finals, and I certainly like them this year. They have youth. They're going to get Clay back. And it just feels like the West is a little bit vulnerable, because I don't know what to expect out of the Lakers. Can Phoenix do it again? And what did they learn last year? Denver, can you count on them to be consistent enough to play at a high level? Utah, are they going to be in there as well?
No. Utah's out. Utah never gets to be talked to as a playoff team again. They're out. And as I understand that and I'm an analytics guy, all the analytics folks have explained to me that Nikola Jokic is maybe the greatest player in the history of the league, which is really fascinating because none of them believe the Nuggets are going to make the finals. The NBA is pretty simple. If you have the best player in the league, you're probably going to win the championship. Nobody thinks Nuggets can win the championship, so miss me with this Jokic is better than Giannis mess. I don't care what the numbers say. I watch the games. But yes, the West is open, and here you said they have youth. Here's the other thing the Warriors have going for them. So they're getting Clay back. That'll be an infusion. No matter what form he's in, he'll help.
Yeah.
They also, though, they're getting nothing right. Wiseman's not playing yet, and Kuminga and Moody are so young, like 18 and 19 when you draft them. If they want to package Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, you get an all-star.
Yeah.
Like Beal's not going to be available now because the Wizards are too good. But whatever disgruntled all-star X that you want.
But wouldn't I go after Buddy Hield? I mean, I can't get Beal. What about Buddy Hield?
Well, the question there is, I know everyone killed the Lakers for not getting Buddy Hield. And I like Buddy a lot, but he's also damn near 30. We don't think of that. He was old when he came out of college. He's not damn near 30, but he's late 20s. And it's always tough for me, like a guy. So Ben Simmons can't play in the playoffs, but he's been in the playoffs. Like maybe Buddy can't either. Like Buddy's the sixth man on the Kings. Like I like Buddy a lot, but I liked Ben Simmons to the Warriors. You don't need more shooting. Once you get Draymond, once you get Clay back.
But don't I have to give up Draymond to make Ben work with Golden State?
I don't know. That's what everybody says. But when the Warriors won 73 games, Festus Ezeli and Maurice Spates were on the court with Draymond. Like, I remember it because LeBron was dotting threes over poor Festus's eye in Game 7.
Festus.
Festus. I mean, Bogut obviously was a good player, but Bogut and Draymond played together. So, like, the idea that you couldn't have Draymond on the court with another non-shooter. Now, Draymond back then was a better shooter than he is now, so that's part of it. But whoever the person is, my point is if the Warriors want, they can go get another piece because they're not getting anything from those young guys, and they're still awesome.
We're talking to Nick Wright, First Things First, co-host on Fox Sports 1. How patient are you going to be with the Lakers?
Well, here's the deal. So there's the Russ angle, and then there's the LeBron part. The Russ angle is first 3 months in Houston, he was terrible, and then he was excellent end of the season. Same exact thing happened with Washington. So I will be patient with that. And Russ, here's a fun thing to look at. The best center Russ has ever played with, best big Russ has ever played with, young Steven Adams. He's never played with a quality offensive center or offensive big, so it's going to take time for him and Anthony Davis. But the fact of the matter for the Lakers is this. If LeBron's not still able to be a top 3 at a minimum, top 3 player in the league when the playoffs roll around for the entirety of the playoffs, Lakers are screwed. I think he still can be. I think he's got one more of those runs in him. If he is, then again, who are we taking in the West over a fully functional hand on the joystick LeBron plus AD? And I believe LeBron is a problem solver, will make it work with Russ. But the first thing they got to do is just get rid of their centers. You can't play Russ and a center. You might actually play Russ at center. That's kind of what the Rockets did, and it worked. Like, AD, you don't want to play center, fine. You can be the power forward. Russ will be the center. And then you can spread the floor and have more shooting there.
I never understood AD not wanting to play center because it feels like you have a better chance of making the All-NBA team as a center because Rudy Gobert makes it every single year.
Yeah.
That, these bonuses come with being first, second, third team. I'd want to be a center. Just list me as a center. Who cares?
Yeah, listen, AD's awesome. He's, what's the word? Delicate. Delicate, I think, is the nice way to put it. I just think he doesn't like
is that a polite soft?
I didn't say soft, Dan. I wouldn't say that about a fellow Clutch client. That'd be rude. I just think he's not as big of a fan as the contact and and he is a guy who, when he gets dinged, it does appear he's been shot, but luckily he recovers from that quickly.
Brittle.
And so,
Brittle. Did you call him brittle?
Yeah. Yeah, I like delicate. I'm going to stick with the word I use. Hey, I got another question for you.
Okay. All right.
Were you shocked that there were MVP chants for someone not on the Nets at Barclays last night? Like, that doesn't happen.
Well, that's not really a home advantage. That's not a home fan base.
You're right
it's
about
a
that.
recent fan base. That's why if they won the title, they'd get a nice little parade. If the Knicks win a first round series, guys
Bing
are
bong.
Yeah.
People are out of their minds.
Yeah, guys
People
are
out of their
topless in the streets there. I mean, come on.
That's absolutely right.
Nobody cares. A couple other things. I know that the Chiefs are back, according to people. Back. I didn't know they left, but they're back. And I know you're a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. So would you give your logic of, are the Chiefs on the short list of teams to beat still in the NFL?
Oh, 100%.
Top five?
Let me put it like this. I think they're the team to beat in the AFC. The 5 best teams might all be in the NFC. Yeah. They got to beat each other. Like right now, if you were able to draft your playoff opponents, like if that's the 1 seed got to pick its opponents, wouldn't the Chiefs be everyone's last pick? Aren't they still the team in the AFC nobody wants to face?
If Derrick Henry was playing, Tennessee would be that team that I would not want to play.
Sure, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like that's he's not.
Yeah.
And the Bills have been that Jags loss looms large to me for the Bills. And the Bills to me are the other dangerous team when everything's rolling. But the AFC screwed up, man. For the first 5 weeks, the Chiefs had a historically bad defense. For the next 3 weeks, Mahomes had the first slump of his career. And now all of a sudden we sit here and it's like, oh, they have the second most wins in the conference. Like if you were ever going to create separation, it would have been this year, and the AFC didn't take advantage.
Yeah, you're right about you don't want to face them when it gets into the postseason. Buffalo, I still not quite sure. Like the AFC right now, just not sure with anybody.
Right, me neither.
I mean, exactly Tennessee's done everything you want a great team to do. We just don't recognize them as being great.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, because here's the thing. And I know football's complicated and it's all 3 phases and all this. And then at the end of the day, before you bet your hard-earned money on a team to win a Super Bowl, you're like, wait, Ryan Tannehill's their quarterback? Nah, I'm going to have to pass. They're like, no, he's the highest-rated passer on third downs. Unless he's like, I'm not going to do that.
Hey, you're all in on crypto.com instead of Staples? You're going to refer to?
I don't care, man. I had an opportunity to be Dan Patrick Rich if I would have listened to all my poker player friends 5 years ago and bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, and instead I didn't. And so now I'm just hoping it all tanks because all my friends I gamble with are just stupid rich. And I'm still coming on these. I'm doing this, so you send me free sweatshirts. So, I mean, yeah, so I'm anti. It's just total bitterness and anger that all these dolts have gotten rich.
What's Arrowhead called now?
GEHA Field. I don't even know what the hell that is. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know anybody who calls it that. It feels like people are still going to call Staples.
Yeah, I heard what you guys were saying about the Winston Cup before.
Yeah.
So I grew up, my whole childhood was the Winston Cup, and I had no idea it was about the cigarettes. I thought it was named after some famous NASCAR dude named Winston. Like when they changed it, I was so confused. I swear to God, I thought that. I didn't even know.
And you thought that there was a guy named Nextel? Like that?
Well, no, that's when I figured it out, buddy. That's when I figured it out. I was like, oh, it's branding.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of branding, is your guys' show branding these days trying to just make anyone under 30 not understand what you're talking about? Because I think right before I came on, you were like, hey, fun fact about Wilford Brimley and Cocoon.
Yep.
And I'm 37, and I've never seen Cocoon. Like, what's the median age of people that are like, oh, yeah, I can picture Wilford Brimley and Cocoon in my head? 46?
But it might make you go, wonder what Wilford Brimley looked like at age 50. Dan brought it up, and he is a Hall of Famer. I should listen to what Dan has to say. Then they Google, and they go, oh, my God. Boy, that's a brilliant analysis
maybe.
there. Yeah.
Or maybe they pull out their phones and say, I can't find Wilford Brimley on TikTok. I don't know what the hell Dan's talking about.
Yeah. Maybe they just go, you know what? I'm gonna wait for Colin to come on or Jim Rome to come on, and then I'll listen to those programs.
Oh, see. Oh, wow. We're going. I wouldn't have said that. I mean, I would have thought it, but I wouldn't have said that. It'd be rude on your show.
That's okay. Let me be rude to me before you're rude to me.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Still waiting for that fishing invite, by the way. Yeah,
let's go to a game. Let's go to a Brooklyn Nets game. Plenty of seats still available.
Plenty. $7.
I know.
You can get in for $7.
I can get in and play for 12. That's what's great. I'm Joe Harris, man.
They could have used you last night. Tell you that much, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Hey, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon.
That's Nick Wright. First things first. I think I called him a cohost, cohort host on Fox Sports 1.